Robin, a physical harmony character, is the next limited 5-star coming to Honkai Star Rail. Is she good for free-to-play accounts? In this video, we'll examine Robin's kit and evaluate her on the following metrics: combat strength, flexibility, ease of build, and future-proof. I'll be rating on a scale from 1 to 5, and the score is relative to other 5-stars in the game. So if I give a new 5-star unit a rating of 1 in a category, it doesn't mean that they're one of the worst units in the game, it just means they're weak compared to other 5-star units. First, let's look at overall combat performance. All numbers I'm referencing will be for E0 Robin with level 10 talents. Robin's skill increases all allies' damage by 50% for 3 turns. This is pretty self-explanatory and a nice team-wide buff, kind of like a Ting Yun for your entire team. With her ultimate, Robin enters the Concerto state and all allies immediately take action. When in the Concerto state, all allies' attack increases by 22.8% of Robin's attack, plus 200. After an ally attacks, and this includes follow-up attacks, Robin deals additional physical damage equal to 120% of her attack with a fixed crit rate set at 100% and fixed crit damage set at 150%. Robin is also immune to crowd control debuffs and cannot enter her turn or take action until Concerto ends. A Concerto countdown appears on the action order, and when the countdown's turn begins, Robin exits the Concerto state and immediately takes action. The countdown has its own fixed speed of 90. So her ultimate does quite a lot. It gives even more team attack damage buffs scaling off of Robin's own attack, allows Robin to contribute physical damage whenever an ally attacks, and advances all your allies. This ultimate synergizes with follow-up attackers that will be hitting enemies over and over again. It also works with characters like Seela that can take multiple actions consecutively. Robin's talent increases all allies' crit damage by 20%. After allies attack enemy targets, Robin regenerates 2 energy for herself. That one's pretty self-explanatory, and the energy regen is very much welcome since Robin's ult costs 160 energy. Overall, Robin is a very strong support that should be best in slot for most follow-up attack teams, and can be good in certain situations with Seela. She is also rumored to work well with Boot Hill, so keep that in mind if you're considering pulling for either or both of those characters. Since she's going to be the premier support for follow-up attack teams, she gets a 5 out of 5 for combat performance. Next, for flexibility, I'll be looking at how many different teams and situations she can be used in. We now have several endgame modes, and not all units are relevant in all modes, so depending on your needs, a certain unit may or may not benefit your account much. As mentioned, she works best with follow-up attackers. So in Memory of Chaos or the new Apocalyptic Shadow that is supposed to focus on hunt characters, she'll be great in teams featuring an Aventurine, Dr. Ratio, Topaz, Boot Hill, or Seela. Keep in mind that Robin does not apply any debuffs, so if you're using her in a Dr. Ratio team, you will need other ways to apply debuffs that Dr. Ratio needs to function properly. In Pure Fiction, she'll make the Herta Himiko powerhouse combination even stronger. Robin should be relevant and quite strong in all endgame modes, but has somewhat limited team comps. She's not as plug-and-play as other supports like Ron May, for example, so for that reason I'm giving Robin a 4 for flexibility. As for ease of build, Robin's relics are pretty flexible. She scales off of attack, so you can use sets like Musketeer Wild Wheat or Prisoner in Deep Confinement for the attack bonus. You can also run 2 pieces of each to go all in on the attack, or if you need speed, you can run 2 pieces of either and a 2-piece Hacker Space, or you can run 4-piece Musketeer Wild Wheat. She wants an attack percent body with either attack or speed boots. For substats, you want to prioritize attack percent and then speed. After that, you can mix in some defensive stats like HP percent or defense percent to increase her survivability. When talking about ornaments, a lot of different sets work on her. Obviously, Space Sealing Station is good if you want more attack. Sprightly Von Whack and Penacony Land of the Dreams are both good for the energy regen and depending on your team comp. She's also going to want an energy regen rope and an attack percent orb. You might be wondering about the Streetwise boxing set as well. It's serviceable and you get a 10% physical damage bonus and up to 25% attack bonus, but the attack bonus needs time to ramp up. The flat 24% attack buff from the double 2-piece is generally better, not to mention that those other sets are more efficient to farm. If you already have a good Streetwise boxing relics, then feel free to use it, but I wouldn't farm the set specifically to use on Robin. As for Robin's light cone options, Bronya's light cone is good if you happen to have an extra copy or can afford to buy it from the store. Good 4-star options include Planetary Rendezvous if you're using her with Clara or Boot Hill, or the new 4-star light cone, Tomorrow's Journey, which increases the wearer's attack and increases damage dealt after using her ultimate. However, Dreamville Adventure from the Forgotten Hall store may be the best universal option that most players should have access to by now. Because her relic sets are flexible, but trying to stack so many substat rolls into only 1 or 2 stats can be annoying, she gets a 4 for ease of build. As for how future-proof she is, this is going to be a bit of speculation on my part since we don't know exactly what's coming to the game in the future, but I believe she'll be the best support in follow-up attack teams for a long time to come. Anyone who has seen my content before should know that I advocate for investing in premium supports before other roles, and for that reason I'm giving her a tentative 5 in the future-proof category. Hoyoverse has released a lot of really good supports in the past few months, so I could ultimately be wrong here, but anyone who enjoys a follow-up attack playstyle could do worse than spending Jades to add Robin to your team. Last, let's look at Robin's Eidolons. I'm not taking Eidolons into account when rating her. This is, after all, a video geared more towards free-to-play players, but even free-to-play players will sometimes pull for Eidolons for their favorite characters. Are any of Robin's Eidolons worth? In my opinion, yes, but first you should pull for her Light Cone before considering Eidolons. Her signature Light Cone Flowing Night Flow gives her massive energy regen buffs and a massive 48% attack buff, plus a 24% team-wide damage buff for one turn when using her ultimate. It's pretty obvious that this Light Cone dwarfs any free-to-play options at the moment, so if you already have her Light Cone and want to consider Eidolons, both E1 and E2 are very good. E1 gives all allies 24% all-type resistance penetration increase when Concerto is active. E2 gives all allies 60% speed when Concerto is active and increases energy regen from Robin's talent by 1, further helping Concerto uptime. Can't really ever recommend going further than that for any free-to-play players, but if you're a Robin main or just really like her playstyle, then feel free to pull for one of the first two Eidolons. So to recap, Robin is going to be one of the best supports in the game, in my opinion. She has huge team-wide damage buffs and has a unique effect of being able to contribute significant physical damage as a support, especially in a follow-up attack team. She gets a 5 for combat performance, a 4 for flexibility, 4 for ease of build, and a 5 for being future-proof. If you're a free-to-play player who already has a good follow-up attack team or intend to pull for follow-up attack characters in the future, you'll strongly want to consider adding Robin. It's a bit of a shame that she's running at the same time as Topaz's rerun banner because there's going to be a lot of people that want both. If your only premium follow-up attack character is Dr. Ratio, you might want to consider getting Topaz over Robin. As mentioned previously, Robin doesn't have great synergy with Dr. Ratio due to lack of debuff application, but if you have any of her other ideal teammates like Aventurine or Sela, Robin can be a good addition to your account. If there's anything you think I missed, let me know in the comments below. If you like this style of video, give it a like and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I'm debating whether or not to do these style of videos for new characters in the future, so if you thought this was helpful, let me know. Thanks for watching guys, and good luck on your Robin pulls.